Jason tricked me into a paper divorce because his mistress was pregnant. I stared at the liver cancer diagnosis in one hand and the pregnancy test in the other and let out a slow breath of relief. The cancer belonged to Jason. The baby belonged to Jason's best friend. To keep me from suspecting anything, Jason signed the townhouse and every dollar in our savings account over to me. I gave him my sweetest look of sympathy. Jason, aren't you afraid I'll turn the play into the real thing? Hawthorne smiled gently. Then I'll take it as my fate. I shook my head. Poor sucker. I spun around and married his best buddy. Hawthorne couldn't believe it. Babe, don't you love me anymore? I clutched my wallet. Don't even try that scam. I'm not your wife and I'm not nursing you. My Jason was tender, thoughtful, and treated me like a queen. But that didn't stop him from cheating with his little junior from college, Tara. When I first found out, it felt like the sky had caved in. But Jason pulled down $100,000 a month at the investment bank. Giving him up would be giving up the lifestyle I'd grown used to. Besides, Hawthorne had a trust friend buddy who was richer, younger, and drop-dead polite, exactly my type. Back when I was still legally his, I could only daydream. Once I knew Hawthorne was cheating, the last of my guilt evaporated. The buddy's name was Chase. Hawthorne worked at the same bank. Whenever Jason's team closed a deal or Jason drank himself stupid, Chase was the one who drove him home. I learned about the affair on one of those nights, when Chase hauled a wasted Jason to our door and told me with a loaded smile, "Serena, you really should tag along to Jason's client dinners. Men lose their compass when no one's watching." After we dumped Jason on the bed, Chase turned to leave. I hurried after him. "Spell it out, what do you mean?" Cornered, Hawthorne pulled out his phone and showed me the photos. Jason and his little campus sweetheart tangled together. The girl had been a manipulative since freshman year, Hawthorne said. Still, Jason had vowed Hawthorne'd chosen me, so I'd shrugged it off. I raided Jason's phone that night. His main WhatsApp was squeaky clean. But Hawthorne had a burner account buried inside a folder of random apps. The two of them traded graphic nudes like baseball cards. I screen-recorded every last filthy line. I even started a PowerPoint titled Wall Street Romeo. His in turn. But going public felt too cheap and I wasn't ready to walk away from his paycheck. So I sat on the bomb for 2 whole months. During that time Chase's attention toward me went from polite to unmistakable. One night Hawthorne carried Jason home again. Jason was out cold. Together we heaved him onto the mattress, and while I wrestled with his tie I felt a warm palm settle on my waist. A heartbeat later Chase's body pressed against my back. I yelped, "What are you doing?" Hawthorne held me tighter. "Serena, I've wanted you for ages. Can't you tell? Let go first. Jason's already cheating. I'm younger, richer, and I don't stray. Pick me and I'll treat you like gold, deal?" Before I could answer his mouth was on mine. After 3 years of marriage Jason and I barely touched. Once a month, missionary, no eye contact, no kissing. I used to blame his 80-hour weeks. Now I knew the manipulative junior was the one draining his battery. Chase's kiss was hot, sloppy, and desperate. Jason lay snoring 3 feet away, which only cranked the thrill higher. Still, I slapped Chase hard across the cheek. "Get out. Now." Hawthorne left, cheeks flushed, fingertips pressed to the red welt. That weekend new neighbors moved into the penthouse upstairs. Chase, freshly hired at the bank, Hawthorne bounced downstairs to announce Hawthorne'd be right across the hall. Jason thought nothing of it. 15 minutes later Jason claimed Hawthorne had to run back to the office. The second the elevator doors closed, Chase knocked. "Hawthorne's with Tara," Hawthorne said. "How do you know?" Hawthorne clicked his tongue and flashed me a selfie Tara had just sent him. "Why would she text you? She asked me over. I declined, so she spammed me to prove she has a waiting list." I rolled my eyes and tried to shut the door. Hawthorne blocked it with one shoulder, stepped inside, and caged me against the wall. My pulse went haywire. "Hawthorne betrays you nightly, why stay faithful?" I flattened both palms on his chest. "Back off or I dial 911. Don't insult us both. You stare when you think I'm not looking." I bit my lip. "How do I know Jason didn't send you to bait me into cheating so Hawthorne can grab everything in the divorce?" His gorgeous face cracked into laughter. You think we're in a soap opera? I sniffed. Hawthorne scooped me up, tossed me onto the couch, and pinned my wrists above my head. Tell you what, I'll give you evidence. Record the whole thing, then charge me with rape if you want. Hawthorne kissed me until I fought for air. Finally Hawthorne paused. Security cameras in here? I shook my head. Hawthorne still pulled out his phone, ran some scanner app, and swept the room. I lay there flushed, clothes askew, heart drumming. I wanted it, God, I wanted it. Jason and I hadn't had real sex in months. I'd been living like a widow at 29. When Hawthorne reached for my zipper, I stopped him. Hawthorne smirked, assuming it was token resistance. I said, medical report, current one. The smirk died. Hawthorne muttered shit, yanked out his phone, and showed me a PDF dated 4 weeks ago. I raised an eyebrow. Hawthorne left. Said Hawthorne was headed straight to St. Mary's for a full panel. Hawthorne practically sprinted out faster than Jason ever had. All afternoon his face hovered in my mind, those wicked eyes, the wet heat of his breath, the way his mouth slid over my skin like silk. I changed my panties twice. Suddenly I understood Jason a little better. This was intoxicating. 3 years of marriage had dulled every spark. Now electricity crackled under my skin again. Late afternoon Hawthorne knocked a third time, this time in a tailored suit. Hawthorne handed me a brand new medical report, then loosened his tie and wrapped it around my wrists while I read. Satisfied, Serena? Hawthorne whispered against my neck. I whimpered, don't. That single word flipped a switch, his eyes went blood-red with lust. Afterward Hawthorne cradled me on the very bed Jason and I had shared for 3 years. I panicked. What if Jason comes home? Chase checked his phone. Still at the spa with her. They're in the hot tub. Oh. I climbed on top of him and started kissing down his chest. Once had only whetted my appetite. Celibacy does strange things to a woman. When Jason finally dragged himself in, Hawthorne looked like death warmed over. I fussed solicitously. Jason, you're so pale. Are you feeling okay? I'd already scrolled through Tara's WhatsApp to Chase. Jason popped little blue pills to keep the weekend parties going. That was why Hawthorne came home limp and useless, once a month, like clockwork, humping with all the romance of a robot. Jason's smile flickered. Just overworked. Long week. Then get some rest, sweetheart. I handed him a glass of water, then headed to the laundry room to strip the sheets, evidence of the afternoon painted all over them. Couldn't let them sit. Jason threw himself back into work and client dinners. Hawthorne drank at least 3 nights a week. Every time Hawthorne came home blind drunk. Chase dropped him off. I unbuttoned Jason's shirt. Chase unbuttoned mine. Sometimes I stared at Jason's face, my stomach knotting with panic. Chase, on the other hand, was electrified. I was starting to crave the taste. Jason had to travel for 2 weeks. That was routine. Deal sprints always worked that way. I simply moved upstairs and lived with Chase. 1 elevator ride, that's all. During those weeks my resentment toward Jason ebbed. At first I'd hated him for cheating. Now I understood. Marriage is boring. And life is short, why chain yourself to one person? If I had Jason plus a lover, my energy would split. Less pressure on Jason, so Hawthorne wouldn't feel smothered. A win-win-win. Jason probably saw it the same way. After all, Hawthorne handed me his payroll card. Every month I swept the money into our joint account. An account opened solely in my name. 2 more months slid by. In that time Jason seemed to party himself into the ground. His complexion turned ashen. Morgan scored a discount physical, and since Hawthorne'd been sleeping around, if not with me, I sent him. The results weren't back when Chase texted me a screenshot. From Tara, want to play with a pregnant woman? I'm pregnant. I gnawed my finger. She's pregnant. A spike of anxiety shot through me. A cash cow like Jason isn't easy to replace. Chase is fun, but temporary. Hawthorne won't step up. If Tara is pregnant, will Jason divorce me? I hadn't worked out my next move when the hospital called. Jason's medical report looked grim. I rushed over and picked it up. Suspected liver cancer. Further confirmation needed. Morgan said it was basically certain. And with Jason's nightlife, booze, cigarettes, dead to the world benders, she was probably right. Reading the report made me nauseous. Morgan gave me a pitying look. Don't tell me Jason has cancer and you're pregnant too. I frowned, bought a test, and peed on the stick. Positive. Morgan lowered her voice. Don't hate me, but you can't keep it. Forget that Hawthorne likely die and leave you a single mom. Liver cancer genes are real. The kid could inherit the risk. I asked blankly, what do you mean? She explained, when cancer shows up in a family, the odds jump for blood relatives. I freaked and called Chase. His warm chuckle rolled through the phone. Miss me already? Anyone in your family ever have cancer? Hawthorne paused. Nope. Granddad died at 80, Grandma at 79. Grandpa's 88, Grandma's 80, both still golfing. Why, need a family medical chart before sex now? I hummed. No cousins either. Tiny family tree, all healthy. Want to meet them? I snorted. I still have a reputation to protect. When I hung up, Morgan stared, lost. I giggled. The baby's daddy is perfectly healthy. Hawthorne showed me his physical last month. Morgan gave me a thumbs up. My girl's a legend, one at home, one on the side. I blushed and spilled everything. When I got to Jason's cheating, Morgan wanted blood, cursing him as scum. When I got to Chase, she crowed, brilliant. Iconic. Teach me your ways. I had zero intention of terminating. Chase's morals are trash, but his face and diploma are solid stock. And Jason's expiry date was stamped. I'd use the baby to rope Chase into marriage. New money tree, 10 grand a month. But I refused to keep nursing Jason. And I sure as hell wouldn't sleep under the same roof. Too unlucky. I went home, still plotting, and found Jason beaming. Hawthorne grabbed my hands. Babe, our firm partnered with a developer, staff discount, 20% off for first-time buyers. I gaped. The man never stopped mining cash. We'd already maxed out our purchase quotas. 2 townhouses, 30 grand monthly mortgage. My salary? 9. If Jason dropped dead, the payments would bury me. Hawthorne pressed on. We can't pass this up. Huh? I stared. Hawthorne's dying and still chasing dollars. Let's do a paper divorce, transfer both properties to you, then I buy the discount unit solo. Paper divorce, meaning a real certificate. I stayed silent, skeptical. You're not tricking me into a real divorce? Jason rushed to reassure. Why would I? You'll hold every deed and dollar. Still don't trust me? Nope. That night I poured him the mellow Morgan had given me. Hawthorne blacked out like always. I unlocked his phone and saw the truth. Tara had written, "Impregnant, marry me. What's so great about her? She only spends your money, 9k a month. We'd clear 2 million as a couple. You're about to make VP, 30k a monthly. Want her taking half? Oh, promotion in the pipeline? Hawthorne really was good. I kind of admired him. If I were Jason I'd pick Tara too, same fun, 10 times the paycheck. So Hawthorne still had a soft spot for me, otherwise Hawthorne'd have filed already. Jason hadn't answered. Tara followed up. My child won't be a bastard, I'll end myself. If you won't marry me, I'll PowerPoint every dirty thing you did and blast the company email. Under that threat Jason decided to pacify Tara. Divorce me first, marry her next. In his browser history I even found searches for forged documents. No clue whether Hawthorne meant to con her or me. Next day Jason reopened the subject. Hawthorne dragged Chase in as wingman, raving that the developer's units were once in a lifetime. I still refused. Jason promised, all real estate, every cent in my name, no tricks. I gave a show of reluctance and nodded. We drafted the divorce papers, hit the city clerk's office, walked out with the stamped certificate. Jason said method acting mattered, so Hawthorne moved to the firm's single-occupancy apartments. I clutched his hand. Jason, you won't abandon me, right? Eyes wide, I whispered, I know I can't compete, salary, charm, but I love you, truly. Jason hugged me, stroking my cheek. Those women out there? Crass and calculating. You're pure, sweetheart. Once I cash in, I'll come back with a beerkin. I nodded meekly. Jason left. Chase pinged me another screenshot. From Tara, I got married. That very afternoon, Jason and Tara took out a marriage license at the city clerk's office. I slid his medical report into my tote and headed to Mr. Father's firm to deliver it. And, more importantly, to Chase. I still had to figure out how to make him marry me. Otherwise, how was I supposed to keep up the mortgage payment? My savings account was healthy, but I'm a one-way street. Money comes in, nothing goes out. Jason had cheated, yes, but Hawthorne still treated me decently. I couldn't hide his diagnosis from him. Besides, Hawthorne now had a brand new wife. Together they could face the illness and prove the greatness of their love. I'd give them that chance. As for Chase, I hadn't come up with a plan yet. The morning after the divorce, I went to Mr. Father's office. I'd picked up takeout sushi on the way. The second I stepped off the elevator, Jason and Tara walked out arm in arm. My plastic bag slipped, and the sushi box hit the marble with a loud clatter that made half the trading floor turn their heads. Tears rolled down my cheeks like loose pearls. Jason jerked his arm free and blurted, "Babe." I stepped back. You and she. Let me explain." "Explain what?" Tara cut in. "You're divorced. Stop clinging to him." Tara's stare was razor cold. "Senior, Jason is mine now. Act your age, don't play the mistress and wreck our marriage." Chase scratched his chin. "Serena, Jason remarried yesterday afternoon. Technically Hawthorne belongs to someone else now, try to roll with it." I kept my eyes on Jason. "You swore it was a paper divorce, that we'd remarry." Tara snorted. "If Hawthorne hadn't fed you that line, you'd never have let go." "Enough." Jason barked, then yanked me into a corner. "Babe, I'm sorry," Hawthorne whispered. "Tara got me drunk, slept with me, and got pregnant. If I don't man up, she'll torch my reputation. I had to marry her. Baby, believe me, you're the one I love." I sniffled. "Really?" Hawthorne nodded. "If I didn't care, why would I sign the townhouse and every dollar in our savings over to you? But now there's a baby. Listen, after she delivers, I'll divorce her and we'll remarry. I'm just buying time to keep our losses small. You've always seen the bigger picture, please understand." I told him I did. Jason marched me back, warning Tara with a glare. I slipped into first wife mode. "Ms. Dalton, thank you for carrying Jason's child and for, meeting his needs while Hawthorne's so busy. For the baby's sake, I'll step aside. Take care of him. When Hawthorne drinks too much, undress him and wipe him down. In the morning Hawthorne likes a sandwich and whole milk. Hawthorne loves spicy food, but go easy." I rattled off a dozen bullet points until the entire bullpen gawked, thumbs hovering in silent applause for my saintliness. I went on, "If you're swamped, I'll drive you to prenatal visits and cook your confinement meals. Jason's baby is my baby." "Serena," Jason murmured, eyes brimming. I gazed back, equally moist. Tara exploded. "Serena, have you no shame? Hawthorne's mine now. You're divorced, quit calling him Jason. And quit the fragile act. Can't you survive without him? I don't want you here, get lost." I shrank like a wilting violet. Jason thundered, "Watch your mouth. By rights you should call her big sister." "Big sister, my ass." Tara lunged. I squealed and darted behind Chase. Jason blocked her and landed a slap. "Stop humiliating me." Catfights between wife and mistress were practically a monthly fixture at the bank. Nobody cancelled lunch for this. Chase rubbed his jaw, enjoying the show. "Honestly, I can't tell which one's the wife and which one's the side piece anymore." When the noise died down, I sighed. "Forget it, Jason." "No, Jason, stay with Tara. She's a hero to the Vance family, giving you an heir." I turned to Tara. "Thank you, Ms. Dalton, for bearing a child for my ex-husband." I shook my head sadly. "Don't fight over me. If anyone argues, my heart breaks." A VP nearby muttered, "Haven't seen such a devoted woman in years." Another trader chimed in, "Why would a guy dump someone this selfless?" A third answered, "Hawthorne hasn't. She'll worship him forever, ring or no ring. Jason gets the harem life without the paperwork." Actually, that had probably been his plan all along. Jason looked wrecked with guilt. I pulled the medical report from my tote and offered it gently. "Jason, your results are in." I brought them over unread. It used to be our ritual, now the honor belongs to someone else. Hawthorne took the envelope, stunned. I hugged him. I'm going. I walked away, leaving the crowd a closing scene silhouette to tweet about. Chase called, Jason, I'll escort the lady out. On the curb I hailed a cab. Hawthorne slid in after me. The instant the door shut, Hawthorne kissed me hard. Cut it out, I hissed. I missed you, babe, Hawthorne growled. The driver recoiled in the mirror. I started to cry. Have you no decency? I'm freshly divorced. Hawthorne hugged me. Sure, you've still got me. Back at his penthouse, Hawthorne pinned me to the sofa. I half protested, then told him to be gentle. Days passed and I still couldn't figure how to lock down this reckless air. Hawthorne seemed hooked, yet kept calling me sis. Maybe Hawthorne only liked married women. Before I could decide my next move, Jason rang. His voice was gravelly. Babe, I'm at St. Clair's, can you come? I feigned shock. You're only telling me now? Hawthorne rasped. If you hadn't insisted on that checkup, I'd still be clueless. Will you come? Of course, but I'm pregnant, so the hospital's radiation scares me. Pregnant? Hawthorne choked. We haven't slept together in months. How? I swim laps at the country club pool, maybe the water's magic. I trailed off. Gotta run, babe. I'll burn incense and beg your ancestors to protect you. I hung up and powered the phone off, then curled on the sofa with my iPad. The front door opened. You're home early, I said. Chase stared. You're pregnant. I'd planned to spring that card later, but fate had other ideas. I nodded. It's yours, I said softly. Jason and I haven't touched each other in ages. No wonder you asked about my family medical history, Hawthorne muttered. I slipped my arms around him. Chase, let's get married, give the baby a name. I'll be the perfect, low-maintenance wife. You can fool around all you want and I'll look the other way. As long as I get the money back, that's all that matters. Hawthorne looked at me strangely. Then Hawthorne smiled. A gorgeously crooked smile. All right. Let's get married. I wanted the license in my hand tomorrow. No loose ends, no sleepless nights. The watch on his wrist screamed old money, but I'd been fooled by sparkle before. If Hawthorne turned out to be hollow steel instead of gold, Hawthorne'd drain me dry. So I called Morgan. One group dinner, reservations already set. Morgan lifted her wineglass toward Chase. Serena's mom died in a car wreck when she was 12, Dad remarried, stepmom locked her out in the snow, and her first husband, Jason, basically put a billboard on Instagram announcing Hawthorne cheated. Girl's been through hell, treat her right. Chase nodded like an altar boy. I'll take care of Serena, I swear. Then Hawthorne laced his fingers through mine, eyes shining with soap opera sincerity. I gazed back with equal wattage. Morgan continued. She doesn't have family backup, so this wedding is my jurisdiction. Serena's so sweet she thinks love is enough, but marriage eats women alive, pregnancy, stretch marks, lost wages, while men just get the fun part. She leveled a stare at him. Honestly, I was against another wedding. She just crawled out of one sore. I don't want her drowning in the next. Yet here she is, crazy about you. Break her heart and I'll break your face. Reputation aside, your track record is, she twisted her mouth, unreadable, unpromising. I jumped in. Babe, don't. Hawthorne didn't mean to be the mistress, feelings hijacked him. What we have is real. Chase bobbed his head. I'll protect Serena with everything I've got. Morgan shot me a look that said, you absolute dumpling. Already elbowing me aside for a guy. You're not even married, just add lovesick idiot to your resume. I'm not an idiot, I protested. I just love Chase. I nestled against his shoulder and beamed at her. Morgan pointed a manicured finger at me. She's a baby duck in traffic. I need guarantees. Let's discuss hard numbers. How much cash gift are we talking? Chase hesitated. I answered first. I don't care about cash gifts, only you. Morgan's face went flat. Then I don't give my blessing. I pouted. You're my only family, you have to walk me down the aisle. Chase glanced between us. $880,000? I'm a bit liquid tight right now. Tears pricked my eyes, part gratitude, part arithmetic. Jason's first proposal had topped out at $380. Second marriage, higher bid, apparently wife in training was premium stock. Hawthorne definitely had a thing for another man's ring. Morgan hid a smile behind her hand, caught my eye, then resumed her stern aunt voice. We're measuring devotion, not dollars. Cash gift settled, next item. Future paychecks. Direct deposit into her account, Hawthorne said. We filed for the license the next morning. No loose ends, no restless nights. The cash gift hit my savings account, payroll card included. Hawthorne still earned less than Jason, but odds were Hawthorne'd outlive him by decades. Once the certificate was stamped, Hawthorne drove me to meet his parents. Hawthorne omitted one tiny biographical note, my previous husband. Instead Hawthorne gifted them a package. I was pregnant, gainfully employed, teacher's hours, 0 overtime, perfectly suited to stroller pushing. His parents swallowed the news with barely concealed panic, then raced to schedule the ceremony before my dress size changed. Jason resurfaced. His cheeks looked scooped out by an ice cream spoon. My eyes watered instantly. Jason, oh God, Jason, what happened to you? The anger carved on his face softened when Hawthorne saw my tears. His own eyes reddened. Babe, I miss you. Don't you want me anymore? I bit my lip. It's not that I don't want you, you're married to Tara now. How can I? My voice broke. I already divorced her. When she heard stage 4 liver cancer, she aborted and bailed. She actually did that. Abandoned you when you need her most. I gasped. I actually thought she had a heart. Come home, babe. I don't have long. I finally understand. You're the only one who ever truly loved me. Let me spend what's left with you. The elevator dinged. Chase stepped out. Spotting Jason, Chase greeted him warmly. Jason, feeling any better? Jason frowned. Why are you here? My place upstairs is being renovated. Crashing here temporarily. Jason offered a polite nod. Congrats on the engagement. Hawthorne turned to me. You rented your townhouse out? That's strapped for cash. Can't cover the mortgage? I'm not earning any more. Babe, maybe sell one of the properties. Doctors say there's an experimental drug, but it's pricey. I stared in horror. Terminal cancer and Hawthorne still chasing miracle cures. I didn't have the heart to call it money down a drain. After all, Hawthorne was the one who'd earned most of it. Babe, you can't make the mortgage? Chase asked, bewildered. I handed you my payroll card. If that's not enough, I'll ask my parents for a bridge loan and wipe out the balance. Hawthorne turned back to Jason. Hey, come in for a beer. Jason froze as if tasered. Hawthorne stammered. You too, what exactly are you? Hawthorne swayed, porcelain cracking. Chase threaded his fingers through mine, sweet as a choir boy. Jason, we're legally married. Wedding's next month, thanks for playing matchmaker. Wouldn't be the same without you there. Jason coughed up a mouthful of blood and collapsed. I dialed 911 myself. Listening to the siren fade, I murmured, nothing matters if you don't have your health. But Jason's drama refused to flatline. Hawthorne rang later, all warmth cauterized. Serena, how long were you screwing Chase? I misjudged you completely. I sniffled. After I left you, I was lonely. Chase consoled me. I know it was wrong, but I genuinely love him. True love shouldn't be a crime. Hawthorne erupted into wet coughs. Give me my money, you tramp. Savings accounts, the townhouse, everything. The divorce papers are crystal clear. I won't betray my word. Unlike you, I don't junk my vows the minute they become inconvenient. I hung up, righteous tears on cue, and burrowed into Chase's chest. Hawthorne wrecked me, and now Hawthorne wants the settlement back. I never realized how small Hawthorne was. Chase peeled an apple for me. Hawthorne'd already quit the investment bank. Now Hawthorne was running his father's company. Forget him, Chase said. Told you ages ago Hawthorne was trash. Jason showed up at Roosevelt. His parents came too. His mother charged first. You little tramp. Slept around, tricked my boy into divorce, stole every cent. Now Hawthorne's dying and penniless. Give the money back or I'll scream until you're fired. Students lifted phones, red lights blinking. I turned to Jason, tears streaming. Jason, is that the story you gave them? Jason's face was granite. Sell the townhouse. Return the money. I need cash. Spare me the sermon. I gazed at him, slowly shaking my head. You cheated, you lie about me, and you still think I'll jump because you snap your fingers. You traded my love for toilet paper. His mother shoved me. I slammed against the wall, clutched my belly, and slid down. Sirens wailed. I kept wailing, hands pressed to my stomach. Police cruisers followed the ambulance. All three of them spent the night in lockup. In the end, they paid me $20,000 to make it go away. In the backseat afterward, Chase stared ice daggers at Jason through the glass. Touch her again and you'll find out how creative I can be. Jason's eyes were bloodshot with desperation. Serena, I was wrong. Please, half the money, okay? I need it for the experimental drug. I sighed. How much per shot? 700,000, one shot a month. I studied him. Pity flooded me. Hawthorne had earned plenty, sure, but no fortune survives a bonfire like his. I started and stopped several times, then said, then sue me. By the time the lawsuit ends, Hawthorne'll probably be gone. Chase climbed into the car. Jason was still shouting, Serena, you can't do this to me. You used to be the sweetest. I decided I ought to help, kindly. Jason, oh, sorry. Jason, you're panicking. Your brain's misfiring. Think, how much could you realistically squeeze from me? You know every rich man in Riverdale. Focus on them, not me. I offered, sincere as sunrise, throw a few banquets, rake in the cash gifts, that'll keep you afloat a while. I shook my head. Or maybe prepay your own funeral. The car pulled away. I went straight home, requested leave, and lay in bed nurturing the pregnancy. Within a day, Chase and I both received evits. Jason's divorce bash. Title: 2 divorces in 1 month, the middle-aged man who got fleeced. Chase laughed, sent $100,000 with the note, your story breaks my heart. Your ex-wife now has mine. I wired $9,999. Message: unlike Tara, I didn't leave when you got sick. Had I known, I'd never have divorced you. But fate toyed with us, and I've begun anew. Don't grieve for me, because, truthfully, my heart would ache. On our wedding day, Hawthorne staged another party. Farewell in this lifetime, brothers. Drop by. We were busy, we skipped it. Chase still sent a cash gift, $25,000. I sent $999. Saved you wedding candy. May true love find you soon. Hawthorne shot back, save me the bouquet, heard it's solid gold. I photographed the golden bouquet in my hands and texted, I can print this pic and burn it for you. Shush, don't tell Jason. Hawthorne'd throw a fit. Hawthorne typed, deleted, typed, sent nothing. Eventually, news of my remarriage leaked. Tara whispered to my former in-laws. Mr. Father and his wife glared at Chase and me. I bit my lip. Mom, Dad, I'm sorry. If you can't accept me, I'll leave. Chase apologized too. Mom, Dad, sorry. I like men. I lied to everyone. Marrying Serena was part of the lie. His parents collapsed onto the sofa, exchanged horrified looks, and barked, quit the nonsense. You're our only son. His mother added, divorced. No big deal, shows she's marketable. Everyone exhaled. Security escorted Tara out. After the reception, I asked Morgan to whip up a PowerPoint, sent it to Tara's co-workers and posted it online under Jason's name. It accused Tara of chasing a dying man, dumping him upon diagnosis, and aborting his only heir. Weibo devoured the drama. Sympathy flooded toward me, the woman almost shoved into miscarriage. Tara was fired. Jason's reputation tanked. Still, the man had brains and hustle. Hawthorne rode the notoriety into livestream sales. When I gave birth, Jason visited, glowing experimental shots, Hawthorne boasted. Hawthorne recovered his polished charm and brought a new girlfriend. Then Hawthorne said, Serena, let's get a paternity test. What if the kid's mine? Chase froze mid-diaper change. My smile stiffened. Jason went on, righteous, am I wrong? I'd already run the test, done in utero. If the baby weren't Chase's, would Hawthorne have married me? Jason's face blanched. Full-term baby? You two slept together last July. We divorced in September. His finger trembled at me. And you dare accuse me of cheating? I didn't cheat. Chase is no mistress, I insisted. We're true love. Jason fainted out cold. No wonder we were once married, both hopelessly naive. 6 months later, Jason died. I quietly lit a candle for him. Epilogue. The first time Chase saw Serena, Hawthorne wanted her, pure lust. Hawthorne meant only to bed her. She seemed tempted yet refused to bite. Only after Hawthorne told her Jason had cheated did she waver. Hawthorne planned a fling, nothing more, then came the positive pregnancy test. Hawthorne had to own it. Besides, this woman was crazy ruthless. Cross her and God knows what she'd do. And truthfully, she excelled at the wife thing. The townhouse ran like clockwork. A legal wife who felt like a mistress, she cooed, played dizzy, wept on cue, looked stunning on his arm. Hawthorne surrendered. Mainly, the baby intrigued him. Fatherhood felt novel. So they muddled on. Other women still circled, tempting him, but Chase felt worn out. Serena, that lunatic, blamed her first marriage's collapse on Jason depositing his conjugal duties elsewhere. To ensure marital success round 2, Hawthorne must pay those duties nightly every single night. Pills, potions, whatever it took. Morgan sourced the supplements. After a dose Hawthorne felt hollowed out. Forget chasing women, some mornings Hawthorne couldn't even rise. One day Hawthorne caught their reflections, Serena glowing, visibly pampered, himself a walking ghost. She noticed his stare, leaned in, voice syrupy, eyes smoky. Want more? His knees buckled. Hawthorne shook his head frantic. Too late, she already held the reins. Hawthorne was ravished again. Only the ox dies of exhaustion. The field never wears out. Mercifully, she conceived a second time. Finally, a vacation from duty. Nowadays the sight of any woman makes his legs tremble. Why on earth had Hawthorne once thought Serena a cuddly bunny, ample cleavage, easy prey? She's riding him into the grave. Morgan dropped by again. The two women lounged in the bedroom, cackling at intervals. Chase's scalp prickled whenever Morgan visited, trouble brewed. Sure enough, after the kids slept, Serena beckoned. Jason, come here, surprise for you. Hawthorne stepped back. No more surprises. No more thrills. Hawthorne only wants a quiet life. Thank you for listening. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate this tale? If you enjoyed it, like and share with friends. We'd love to read your comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more gripping stories. See you next time.